I'm Maddie. For those that don't know me, I am the representative for Quang Nam. So essentially, I'm going to give you a brief overview of Quang Nam. I know a lot of people aren't familiar with the region, and then I will take you through some experiences that you can do there. So. There we go. Okay, so essentially, Quang Nam is a region in central Vietnam. It's probably most famous, or you probably know it for Hoi An. So Hoi An is within Quang Nam, and that is usually on a lot of itineraries, but people tend to not go beyond Hoi An. There's a lot more to Quang Nam, and that's essentially what I'm going to show you. So just a brief introduction. When going to Quang Nam, the closest place to fly into would be Da Nang. It is 50 minutes from Hoi An. The best time to go would be between March and May. Not too hot, not too rainy, and yeah, that's essentially the introduction. So firstly, Hoi An is typically known as that is the most popular place where tourists go. So it's typically known as buzzing city, great atmosphere, great bars, great food, and it's also known for how colourful it is. So apart from the buildings being colourful itself, it's filled with all these colourful lanterns, which are a huge part of the local life there, basically. So one thing that they have the Lantern Full Moon Festival. So every lunar moon, which is a Buddhist celebration. So essentially what happens is that the locals, they gather together, they all have their lanterns, and they pray for health and peace. And basically they put the lanterns on the Hoi An River and kind of give them as an offering to God and to ancestors. So in particular, red lanterns actually represent luck and happiness. And this is one of the main things that Hoi An is famous for. I've never been myself, but if you were to go to Quang Nam and miss it, you can also, there's a lot of workshops that you can then go and kind of make your own lanterns, do your own wishes. You don't have to do it at the festival, but that is just a little overview of the experience you can do in Hoi An. Secondly, about 50 minutes away from Hoi An, you have My Son Sanctuary. So the meaning, My Son actually means beautiful mountain. So this is one of the UNESCO heritage sites. It is the ruins of temples that were built between the 4th and 14th century by the Cham people. Essentially, it is the place where if you want to learn about Buddhism and learn about the people that built them and everything like that, you can go here, spend minimum half a day there. You can go by yourself, or you can actually book a group tour with locals. But essentially it is everything that you'd want to know culturally. Sorry, that came out really wrong. But yeah, so that is one of 2 of the UNESCO heritage sites. Moving on. So next, obviously a huge thing within Quang Nam, and to be honest, the whole of Vietnam, is their food. It's very fresh. They're very well known for how amazing their food is. So one of the experiences you can do when you are in Quang Nam, you can actually learn, so on the right, that is their Quang Nam's famous dish. So it's called Mi Quang. So it is turmeric noodles, peanuts, fresh herbs, and light broths. And you can actually learn to make this at the Red Bridge Cooking School. So if you happen to be in Quang Nam, you can go to the Red Bridge Cooking School, which is located in Hoi An. So you will go through a guided tour of the Hoi An market, then take a boat trip down the Hoi An River to go and collect herbs from a herb garden. And then you'll have a 2-hour class where you'll learn to make various dishes, a lot of dressings, I believe, as that is quite important to a lot of the dishes, and then finish off with lunch. So this is kind of the perfect way to kind of get involved in the culture, see how the locals cook, and and kind of immerse yourself in that experience. And if you're not looking to cook while you're away, which is completely fair enough, there is also the Field Restaurant and Bar, which is located in Cam Tang. So essentially, this restaurant cafe is found in the rice fields. So you have the view of all the wildlife around you. There's water buffaloes, everything like that, and you're actually in the rice fields. You can see farmers there, and all of the food comes fresh from the fields, obviously. But the special thing about the Field Restaurant is that it has a zero waste operation. So essentially everything they do is thinking about the environment. Everything they do, they want to be sustainable. So they will use, sorry. So essentially they make their dishwashing liquid and kind of soap and things like that out of compost. Everything they do, they'll reuse, they'll recycle, they'll try and eliminate food waste. So this is really a really nice place to go when you are in Quang Nam. Okay, so next, so if you are more into your kind of beach holidays, the Cham Islands is a perfect place for that. So the Cham Islands are actually 8 islands situated about 22 kilometers away from Hoi An, obviously over the water. So you can get there by ferry, you can get there by speedboat, you can canoe there, but pretty sure that takes about 3 hours. So that is absolutely up to you. But the Cham Islands are actually part of the Koo Cham Marine Park, which is a UNESCO World Biosphere Site. And the reason being is because the waters are home to 945 marine species. It's a really beautiful place. The waters are filled with different species. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. And essentially the Cham Islands are they're built on these sustainable practices. So as you can see on the top left, when you visit there, you'll have a mandatory environmental marine conservation fee. You'll have a mandatory environmental cleaning fee, just kind of to give back as well as the people who actually live there. But once you're on the island, obviously the main feature of it is the beautiful waters. There is beautiful coral reefs, and as mentioned multiple times, the species within the waters. But apart from that, you can actually go dive in with them. You can be beginners, and this is within the marine park. So there's different diving sites, and you can dive, you can snorkel, or you can actually go out with fishermen on their boats and help catch fish, and then you can take it back. They have their local fish markets, so you can either buy it there or it will probably be used in the local restaurants. The thing about the Cham Islands, you can spend a day there. There's no hotels there, but there are homestays, so you can decide to stay longer, but they have beautiful beaches, kind of everything from markets to relaxing on the beach. And yeah, so I think that is it. That is obviously just a few of the things that you can do in Quang Nam. There's a lot more to it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself and I can give you some more detail. But yeah, I think ready for the questions.